As I walked into the deserted office building, the silence weighed heavily on me. The night shift always brought an eerie stillness, and I had grown used to the solitude. The only certainty was that the hours would drag on, each second a crawl towards dawn. Tonight, however, something felt different. A palpable sense of unease hung in the air, and the familiar hum of the building seemed to be drowned out by an unsettling quiet. I chalked it up to fatigue and a touch of paranoia, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. My duties were routine: patrols, security checks, and the occasional report to file. It wasn't until I reached the basement that things took a turn. The low hum of the fluorescents echoed through the narrow halls, casting long shadows that danced with malicious intent. I froze as a noise reached my ears, a faint whisper, barely audible, but undeniably present. "Hello?" I called out, my voice swallowed by the suffocating darkness. No response, yet the feeling of being watched intensified, as if an unseen entity lurked just beyond the reach of light. Heart racing, I quickened my pace, eager to leave the basement's suffocating embrace. That's when I glimpsed it, a figure, huddled in the corner, obscured by the dim glow of emergency lights. "Who's there?" I demanded, but my words fell on deaf ears. As I approached, the figure seemed to dissolve into thin air, leaving behind only a bitter chill that crept up my spine. Denial warred with instinct, urging me to flee, but duty held me in place. There was no logical explanation for what I had seen, and yet I couldn't deny the dread that coiled in my gut. Reluctantly, I continued my rounds, each creak of the building's aging frame a taunt, each shadow a potential threat. I was no stranger to fear, but this was something primal, something that defied reason. Time lost meaning as the night wore on, my nerves frayed by the relentless assault on my senses. It wasn't until I heard the sound of footsteps, distant but unmistakable, that I knew I wasn't alone. Panic seized me, and I fled, the need to escape overpowering any pretense of bravery. As I stumbled out into the moonlit night, I dared to glance back, expecting to see my pursuer hot on my heels. But there was nothing, only the empty building and the lingering echo of my own terror. To this day, I can't explain what happened on that night shift. Was it a trick of the mind, a symptom of isolation and exhaustion? Or did I encounter something beyond the realm of reason, something that defied the laws of the world as I knew it? All I know is that I never returned to that office after dark. The shadows held secrets I dared not uncover, and the silence whispered of horrors best left undisturbed. Whether it was a hallucination or a brush with the unknown, I will carry the memory of that night shift with me forever.